What's up, everybody? So we had a light action boxing weekend this weekend, but there's still plenty. There's always stuff going on in boxing, so there's a few things that I definitely want to talk about. And we're going to start with Claressa Shields. So Claressa Shields headlined in Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, and it was popping, y'all. It was popping. The announced attendance was over 11,000. That's very impressive for Shields, especially here in America. And I can see that growing, especially as the competition grows and people start learning more about her opponents. One of the things that stood out to me even before Claressa Shields' performance is how the presentation of it. They had the Four Tops that was there. They had Tommy Hearns that was there. So they were actually showing, they really are trying to bring big time boxing back to that area, back to that scene. So I'm hoping that they're successful. And the fact that they got over 11,000 in there, that's a great start. That's a great start. So I think it was Claressa Shields handled her business as we all expected. Cornejo didn't present much of a challenge. I think one thing we wanted to see was a knockout from Shields. We did not get that knockout, but she was landing some telling punches. She still put on a show, and that's what she does. And that's what you want your fighter to do. So credit to her, bringing them out, cash doll, bringing her out to the ring. Man, I'm telling you, it was popping. Congratulations to Shields. She had it popping in there in Little Caesars Arena. And we'll see what happens next. We'll see what goes on next and what's next for her. Something that Claressa Shields mentioned was the Four Queens. She says this era right now, they have a chance to make the Four Queens. So when you first think about it, you'll be like, no, there's no Four Queens. And you might look at it and you say, there's no depth. And you're right, there's no depth at super middleweight, 100%. However, those top fighters, when you look at the top four fighters, yes, they are skilled, they are talented, and they are worthy of watching. And each one of them could be a headline main event, and I would be tuned in. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about Shadasia Green. I'm talking about Savannah Marshall. I'm talking about Claressa Shields. That means she would have to move back up to 168, because you know she's undisputed at middle, and before that, super welter. So, and then we got to throw in the queen, who I have to say is the queen of the division right now, Franchon Crews-Dezurn, because she is the undisputed champ. They could have a Four Queens if they do a round robin. I could definitely see it. At first, when you hear that and you think about what the Four Kings was and how that still resonates today, it might seem laughable. It might seem laughable. But when you think about it and you actually look at the skills of these fighters, their abilities, and how they're different, and these outcomes could who knows how they're gonna go? You know, especially because you gotta think, did Claressa Shields beat Franchon Crews-Dezurn? Yes, but that was her pro debut. We're talking pro debuts. So you don't want to really just take that for what it's worth. That's Franchon Crews' only loss was to Claressa Shields. And what is she going to do? And we're going to really find out about Franchon Crews and Savannah Marshall in that fight for super middleweight supremacy. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it plays out in the end. And I hope it plays out. I just want to see all of them fight each other. Because in the end, Shadasia Green might be the best one of them all. So the next topic I want to talk about is Usyk signing with Skill Challenge Promotions. I'm all about fighters getting paid. I'm all about fighters getting paid. And if you're gonna get paid what you're worth, or what somebody else thinks you're worth, and what you're willing to accept as a fighter. So Usyk, he was like, look, Skill Challenge, they're gonna take care of me. They're gonna make sure I get paid. So he signed with them. Respect. You can only respect it. Now, can they drag Tyson Fury into that conversation, into that room, and actually get him to fight Alexander Usyk? So Canelo versus Benavidez. I'm not going to say too much on it because really there's not many developments. It's like Eddie Reynoso came out and said, hey, I didn't get anything. And then you had Samson Lekowicz came out and said, yeah, you did. So all I want to know is, are they going to fight? And the point that I want to say here is, that's the fight that should be next. Canelo versus Benavidez, undisputed, 168. You can feel the groundswell. You can feel the support behind it. People are really starting to feel this fight, and the energy behind this fight is growing. And it's not growing for another Bivol fight, because we saw that and we know how that's going to end up. Nobody thinks Canelo can beat Bivol. And that's partly why, as a fighter, I understand why he would want to take on Bivol again. But financially, get that bag, especially if you think you can beat Benavidez and you don't think he's on your level, fight Benavidez, and then maybe go after Bivol again. Number 5, Beterbiev's trainer is worried about Callum Smith. They're saying that Callum Smith is the best boxer that they faced. And that's crazy, because I thought Voslik was a very good boxer that he faced. But I do feel like Callum Smith might be a bigger puncher. And you might be thinking, what, really? Ever since he's come up to a weight that he's more comfortable at making, doesn't feel as drained, he's been handling business very impressively. And we can't discount the link up with Buddy McGirt. I think that Buddy McGirt link up has really been a marriage and a match made in heaven. for Callum Smith right now. So, and they've had a couple fights together. So now they got a couple fights under their belt, and they're gonna go into a Beterbiev match. This might be the best Callum Smith will look with Buddy McGirt, and it might be the best he will ever be against Artur Beterbiev, because you think he's in his early 30s. It's not gonna go uphill too much longer. So this is peak Callum Smith against a older Beterbiev. So don't sell Callum Smith short in this fight. I'm actually leaning towards a Callum Smith victory.
Stop it! Stop it.
As good as Beterbiev is, there just comes a time where your time is up. And I think the Callum Smith fight might be Beterbiev's time. But I'm gonna hold off on any prediction of any kind. Just leaning that way right now until we get closer to the fight, because that's gonna be coming our way August 19th, and it's gonna be in Montreal, Canada. That's all I got for this Top 5 Under 5. I'll catch y'all next week, and we'll go over the next weekend recap.